Hey everyone. Ever feel like you're kind of, stumbling through relationships, like maybe missing those subtle hints that could really make or break things?
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, today we're tackling that head on, diving deep into the world of red flags and green flags, those little signals that can tell you a lot about a relationship.
Right. It's like learning the secret code
Mhm.
to healthy relationships. And we're going to decode it together using what we learned from Alex and Lisa on their podcast, Relationship Deep Dive.
So I was really struck by what they said about inconsistency being like a major red flag,
Yeah.
when someone's actions just don't match their words.
Definitely.
But it's got to be deeper than just, flaking out on plans, right?
Oh, absolutely. Inconsistency erodes trust over time. You start to get anxious because you never know if they'll actually follow through.
That makes sense.
And that can lead to resentment and insecurity, which, not exactly the best foundation for a lasting relationship.
Exactly. So it's not just about forgetting a phone call. It's about that bigger picture of reliability and dependability. But
Right.
what about the flip side? Like what's the green flag, the good sign that sort of counters that inconsistency red flag?
Open communication.
Okay.
When your partner is open and honest about their feelings, about what they want, about their limitations even, that builds security. You know where you stand, and that consistency, it just creates a solid foundation for trust.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Instead of like second guessing everything and wondering what they're thinking, you can actually relax and enjoy being together because there's that open flow.
Exactly. Creating a space where you can both be yourselves, express your needs without fear of judgment or anything.
Right.
But building that safe space can be tough, especially if you're dealing with another red flag,
Yeah.
controlling behavior.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big one. It can be so subtle sometimes, right? Like, how do you even spot it early on?
Absolutely. It might start small, wanting to know your every move, making decisions without you, maybe even subtly putting down things you're interested in.
Sure. Yeah.
It's about power and control, not respect.
So, how do you tell the difference between someone who's genuinely caring and
Hmm.
someone who's crossing that line into being controlling?
It all comes down to how they handle boundaries. Do they respect your need for space?
Oh,
Do they encourage you to have your own life and be independent? Or are they trying to, isolate you from your friends and family?
oh, yeah, that's a good
Those
point.
are some big clues to watch for.
So the green flag here, the opposite of that, would be respecting boundaries, right?
Exactly. Someone who truly cares about you will respect your boundaries, physical and emotional.
Uh,
They'll encourage you to have your own life, your own interests, your own friendships.
yeah.
It's about fostering individuality within the relationship.
That is such a crucial distinction. It's not about becoming one person. It's about two whole people choosing to build a life together
Right.
while still honoring their separate selves.
Absolutely.
Which actually brings us to another thing Alex and Lisa talked about, emotional unavailability.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
It is.
Often stems from deeper issues. It's not just about being stoic or not showing emotions. Could be rooted in past trauma, attachment styles, even a fear of intimacy.
So it's more than just not being like a touchy-feely person.
Right. They might have trouble expressing their needs, pull away during emotional moments, or even dismiss your feelings.
Okay, so like they're just not fully there emotionally.
Basically, yeah. It's a struggle to connect on a deeper level.
That sounds incredibly frustrating to deal with in a relationship. What's the antidote to that? What's the green flag we should look for instead?
Emotional support. Being there for your partner through thick and thin, celebrating the good times, offering a shoulder to cry on during the bad.
Yeah, it's that feeling of knowing someone has your back no matter what.
Absolutely. Being vulnerable with each other, sharing your hopes and fears, knowing you'll be met with empathy and understanding.
Hmm.
It's about creating a safe emotional space.
Where you both feel seen and supported.
Exactly.
It really is that feeling of support. But what about when you're dealing with the opposite, like disrespect? That's
Yeah.
another red flag Alex and Lisa talked about.
And it's a big one. Nobody deserves to be disrespected, especially in a relationship.
Right. It just eats away at your self-worth.
Absolutely.
So what are some of those like subtle ways disrespect might show up early on that we could miss?
Oh, it can be so sneaky. It could be interrupting you constantly, dismissing your opinions,
Okay, yeah.
making jokes at your expense, even just breaking promises.
Hmm.
It all boils down to not considering your feelings or your needs.
Like you're not important to them.
Yeah.
So what does the opposite of that look like? What does respect look like in a healthy relationship?
Mutual respect. It's about valuing your partner for who they are,
Okay.
really listening to them, considering their perspective, honoring their boundaries. Even when you disagree, you do it with, kindness and consideration.
It's about creating a dynamic where you both feel heard and appreciated.
Exactly. Recognizing each other's strengths and weaknesses, accepting each other, you know, unconditionally. And when you have that mutual respect, it makes working through those differences and challenges so much easier.
It's like you're building a partnership based on equality.
Right.
And speaking of challenges, another red flag Alex and Lisa mentioned was, you know, jealousy and possessiveness.
Oh, yeah.
And it's interesting because a little bit of jealousy, it can be normal, even flattering sometimes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like a little jealousy can just be a sign that someone cares.
Yeah.
It's that basic instinct, like, I don't want to lose this person. But the key is how that jealousy shows up.
So how do you know when it's gone too far, when it's become unhealthy?
When it gets controlling and obsessive.
Okay.
That's a big warning sign. Could be constant accusations, snooping through your phone, trying to isolate you from your friends and family, even using jealousy to manipulate you.
It's like they're taking their own insecurities and putting them on you.
Exactly. Often it's more about their own lack of trust and self-esteem than anything you're actually doing. But the opposite of that, the green flag here, is trust.
Right. So how do you even build that kind of trust in a relationship?
Trust is built through open communication, honesty, and consistency. It's about feeling secure, knowing your partner has your best interests at heart.
And that they're not going to betray you.
Exactly.
It's that feeling of knowing you can rely on them, they'll be there for you, they have your back.
Yeah.
And speaking of having each other's backs, Alex and Lisa also mentioned shared goals and values as a big green flag.
Yeah, huge. Shared values are so important for long-term compatibility. Doesn't mean you have to agree on everything.
Right.
But you got to be on the same page about the big things, life goals, family, ethics, how you want to live your lives.
It's like you're both rowing the boat in the same direction.
Exactly. When you have those shared values, it creates a sense of unity and purpose. You're working towards something meaningful together.
Yeah, and that can be really bonding. It's so different from that feeling of being at odds, like you're constantly pulling in opposite directions. Makes me think of another green flag they talked about. Kindness and empathy.
Oh, those are so essential.
Right.
It's not just about being nice to your partner. It's about how they treat everyone. Strangers, waitstaff, people in need. It all says so much about their character.
Yeah, it's like that saying, you can tell a lot about a person by how they treat people who can't do anything for them.
Exactly. Kindness and empathy, those are signs of emotional maturity, a genuine concern for others.
Right.
And those qualities create a positive ripple effect.
It goes beyond just the relationship itself.
Totally.
It's like you're both contributing to a kinder world.
Absolutely.
And speaking of contributing to a positive atmosphere, the last green flag they mentioned, and I loved this one, was having fun together.
Oh, yeah.
So easy to get caught up in the seriousness of life and forget to just enjoy each other,
Absolutely. Laughter, adventures, silly inside jokes, that's what makes a relationship come alive. Creates a sense of joy, that can help you through the tough times.
It's about remembering to play, to keep that spark alive.
Exactly. Because when you can laugh together, you can face anything.
It's true. So we've covered a lot today, haven't we? All those red flags and green flags. Really feels like we've gone deep, uncovered those hidden signs.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
It has. It's amazing how much we can learn by, actually paying attention to our relationships.
It really is like putting on a whole new pair of glasses.
Yeah. Suddenly you see stuff you never even noticed before.
Totally.
But sometimes those aha moments can be a little, unsettling.
Yeah.
Especially if you realize you've been overlooking some red flags.
It's true. Facing those hard truths can be tough,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also super empowering
Okay.
because now you can actually make different choices.
Right, like you're taking back control.
Exactly.
Armed with this new knowledge, you can, approach relationships in a whole new way.
And that's the key, right? It's not about being suspicious of everyone.
Right.
It's about understanding yourself better.
Yeah.
What you need, what you want in a partner.
And what's so cool about this whole red flags and green flags thing is that it's not just for romantic relationships, right?
No, absolutely not. Applies to all kinds of relationships, friendships, family, even work.
So it's really about learning to read those signs in any interaction
Mhm.
and making choices that, are good for you.
Exactly. Recognizing those healthy and unhealthy dynamics no matter where they pop up.
And that's what this whole deep dive has been about, right?
Yeah.
Giving you the tools to navigate your relationships with more I don't know, confidence and understanding.
Absolutely. You deserve to be around people who lift you up, respect you, bring out your best self.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
And by learning to spot those red flags and embrace the green flags, well, you can build a life that's full of those meaningful, fulfilling connections.
It's true.
So go out there, trust your gut, and never be afraid to, reach out for support if you need it.
Couldn't agree more.
Because remember, you're not alone in this.
Yeah.
We're all figuring things out together,
Right.
trying to build those healthy relationships we all want.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive on red flags and green flags.
It does.
Hopefully, it's given you all something to think about.
Yeah,
Maybe even inspired you to take a closer look at your own relationships.
exactly. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely.
And by continuing to learn and grow, we can all create a more loving and connected world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Uh,
Until next time, may all your relationships be filled with those green flags you deserve.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, everyone.